Alright, hello everyone. I really like this game, so I thought I'm gonna make a little bit of a guide for the early game and some maybe mechanics explanation. The goal is in this video to get through the white difficulty, and then I'll probably do another video for the green one, and then we'll see. But yeah, I have like 80 hours in this game at this point. I've started fresh 4 times, so I'm fairly familiar with the early game and how to get through it quickly. I never did it with melee, so that's a new experience for me. But yeah, there are a couple of things that make the early game like a lot easier when you understand them. Well, at the start, there's not much you can do. Pick a skill you like and go hit shit. Okay, sorry about that. I can probably add that back on. Yeah, because later in the game, when your whole screen is full of player effects and you still want to see what's going on, just turn off. Yeah. Alright, cool. We did our first thing. Okay. Talk to this guy. I expect that everyone who watches this has at least played the start at some point. Okay, skill slots, we don't need that yet. So I'm not going to explain what all these do, because you know what all these do. I'm just going to talk to them all so they give you stuff and progress their quests. So most importantly, skills. So you pick the skill. Whoops. Now you have a slate here. You can add these things. So first of all, white items have the worst, well, I can't show it with the mouse. But so you see skill power, you see whatever its unique effect is, and then you have like summon movement speed. The summon movement speed could be any affix, like here it's elemental damage. So you have one affix, later on you'll have more affixes. The higher the rarity of the item, the more affixes you have, and more importantly, the higher the affix rarity can be. So on a white item, everything is always going to be white, there's nothing else. On an orange item, anything can go up to orange. What's important at the start is not even necessarily what it can do. Like, I don't even know which would be better here. But skill power, right? Why is that important? So if you go on a skill, you see the description in that first rectangular window. And right next to it, on the second rectangular window, at the top it says each 1 point of power increases 20 basic normal damage. And then you have the list of the skills data on stuff. So even just equipping any slate, because it gives us skill power, it gives us more base damage, which is huge, especially at the start. So currently we're just doing hunting missions. The first thing you want to notice, you have different rewards. Never pick these rewards. They're bad. You're going to have them in abundance. That's not ever going to be a limiting factor ever in anything relevant. This is not bad, but I usually go for XP. XP gives us power directly, and what I'm going to do at the start, and this is a bit cheesy, and you don't have to, but it helps a lot for white. As you can see, you have access to all the 5 trees, and on every tree, there is the damage in the middle, generic damage, so it goes for everything. So the first 4 levels always go damage, next tree, damage, damage, damage. Because you want to kill stuff fast, that way it doesn't damage you too much, you don't have to worry too much about survivability, and you're gonna get through the game faster to the part where you get to have more options and where your character is better developed. So basically get to the fun part faster. Okay, this almost killed me. So yeah, that's why I go on damage. Oh look, I will get another 2 level ups because I got XP. And we got a relic. So relics, this is basically your equipment. This one is a very good one early on. It says when you're using only one pathway skills, deal 20% more damage. That's the relevant one. Pathways are these statues basically. So if we're using only these skills that we find here, then we get 20% more damage, which is great. Okay. Oh. So we didn't have an XP option, I think, unless I missed it. So we're going for the breath. So breath and XP is like the only 2 things you ever want from these rewards. There might be an exception later on when you get purple mats right at the start. When you have none, maybe. I don't think so. I think the bet like, so for the materials, you'll always gonna have enough the moment you can start salvaging, because you're gonna drop so many items that you don't use, and that you'll never use that. Oh look, this is already going way faster. Yeah, so all right, so now here we're full. Let's go to next. Anyway, so you'll get so many items that you'll never use. It doesn't even matter. Oh, cool. Now we can do the elite. Perfect. And then on to the next part of the game. Okay, so we notice the enemies are already a bit tougher. They take longer to kill a little bit. Does my thing actually do anything other than, no, it just slashes. Okay. So there are warrior skills, I think, that do like armor break or fury or whatever. Oh, I forgot. Actually, I made a mistake. I should have gotten another slate. All that talking, I forgot about it. So I guess the question is, what do you want to spend your limited resources on early on? Because we have some breath that we didn't use, that we should have used. So what you want is more slates for your main skill. Ooh. Okay, let's slow down a little bit. I got another relic upgrade. So now this is green, and as you can tell, this now has 2 affixes, damage and flask effect, whereas this is only 1, movement speed. This green also has 2 affixes. You see the pattern? Yeah. Also, this has 25% more damage, and this is only 20% more damage. So the rarity also makes the base effect better. Yeah. So, as I mentioned before, okay, so now for 2000 we can increase the slate. So what I would do generally is I would just focus on 1 skill for now. You can have the same slate a second time, and then I would gain 2 fury, but that's not really useful, so we'll do that. We have nothing else, but skill power, as mentioned before, gives us base damage, so it's always nice. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. He's now helping us kill monsters. Again, I'm not explaining how the game works. I'll just try to explain the stuff you can do to make it go smoother at the start, and explain maybe some of the very base mechanics. Yeah, here we can then later craft all the relics up to purple that we already found, which is going to be useful once we destroy them all for mats. In a way, so we don't have to worry too much about that. Cool. All right. But now we basically just, oh yeah, we start hunting. So we target a boss. We're gonna fight stuff. Oh, okay, yeah. And the difficulty goes up automatically. So we got a bit more power because we have a second slate. Look at that. Difficulty went up. So every difficulty increase. Actually, I don't know how it is at the start. But later on, what it does is it will double the enemy's HP and give them 50% more damage. I think. I'm fairly sure. I don't know if that scaling is already in effect at the early game though. So it could be that this is not the case. And the HP increase doesn't feel like double. So, yeah, maybe. I mean, the thing is, we've gotten stronger as well, but that's why we put everything into damage, so we don't have to worry about it. Oh, look. Okay, so another thing. So we can get another skill slot. So we have a second skill, which I'm currently not going to use, but more importantly, a relic slot. We have another relic, this one. Can use another one of these, but as you can see, the first 2 lines say unique in front of it, which means they don't stack. I can add this and it's just gonna give me 8 chill resistance. It's not gonna give me another 20% more damage. Unlike with the slates on the skills. Here we can add this. It's just deals some flat damage. Not that great, not bad early on. But more importantly, enemies affected have reduced defenses. Elites have defenses. How do we know this? Well, we have a training dummy here. And we can go here, and when we go to elite, you see, oh look, they have defenses. Oh look, they have that much life. If they're buffed, they might even have more defenses. So removing those defenses gives us some extra damage against elites, basically. Oh, cool. Now I can showcase this. So as you can see, we now have white, green, green. Green or later purple. I've never seen orange, but I'm sure it exists. Always give better rewards. So this is 6,000 XP. The white one before gave us 1,000. I guess that was on a different difficulty. Yeah, so maybe it's like 2,000. But anyway, always pick the highest rarity, basically. The difficulty is the same from what I can tell. So it's just you're getting better rewards, which helps you progress faster. So you just do that and hopefully don't die. Yeah, melee is always a bit rough at the start, I feel. You have to slow walk everywhere. Your damage isn't even necessarily better, I think. Though I don't know, I actually also never did a bow character. I just did mages, summoners. Well, I did the other melee, the assassin guy. Anyway. But yeah, beat it as it may. Yeah, so here he just shoots at you directly, so if you walk back and forth, he can never hit you, which is amazing. Okay, Ordinary Faith. There's a good one if you had a common relic, which currently we don't. So now we could actually think about, where is our next relic slot? It's here, so this would cost 1,001. Okay, but also now you see you require these materials. Bad Void Crystal. So we need 4 of those. Where do we get those? Well, now we can just assemble stuff. We don't need this, we don't need this, we don't need this. We definitely don't need this. Now we can click disassemble. We get breath and we get that. Actually, we also never need this or this. Or a second of these. We don't do projectiles. We don't need a second skull. So the thing is, you might not know what you need, so you're going to be hesitant to dismantle, which is fine. However, just very basic stuff like projectile skills. If you don't use projectile skills, just dismantle all of that stuff. You're gonna find everything in abundance later on. At the start, you really just want the most power right now, so you can have a smooth progression. I know it feels maybe weird to just destroy the stuff you just found, but trust me, it's the better option. Sorry, level ups real quick. So now we unlocked another relic slot, and now I'm gonna do that. And oh, I should have maybe. So this is not really giving me 20% more damage, but this is giving me 25% more damage because this is white. I'm going to replace this as soon as I can, but for now, this is better than the alternative. Oh. I'm going to check. So that's 10,000 for the next slate. Do we even have one? Yeah, we probably have one to put in. So that's probably the next upgrade. All right, we just go for more XP. As you saw, we got 3 levels just off that one, 6k XP. And that gave us more damage. And oh, look how, well, the trash mobs died before easily as well, but once we get to the elite, you'll see it's just gonna go upwards and upwards. Plus, I mean, there's gonna be a boss that we have to kill at the end of it all, so it's not bad to, oh, broken heads. Oh. Yeah, like sidestep a bit when you're fighting bosses, they can be rough. Oh, look, it's another 2 levels. More damage. When you feel like you're dying too much or stuff like that, feel free to just get some health instead. There's nice health notes here. There's usually health notes somewhere and everywhere on every tree. Or, well, just go to the warrior tree and get them from there, I guess. Oh, cool. So now we have... Okay, maybe I should have gotten some health notes. Also remember, you can always respec. Just right-click on the tree. And that's why it also kind of doesn't matter if you get all health at the start, all damage at the start from different trees. Yes, your final tree is not going to look like that, but you can just right-click on anything you spec and unspec it for free at any time. So it's not really an opportunity cost to do that. Yeah. Our damage could probably be a bit better, maybe. I don't know. Oh, ooh. And I should probably not walk into that every time. Walking into it every now and again is fine, I guess, but yeah. And yeah, here we see the inferiority of melee. It will change soon. Soon we'll be powerful. But not now. Right now the boss is powerful and we're just the guy with a sword hitting him. Alright. Oh cool, a purple slate. Okay, so this is cool. We got that. It's completely useless to us, but it gives us so much. It gives us so much stuff. Yeah. The E also tells you if it's equipped. You can generally don't disassemble that, and you can hit L when hovering over an item, then it gets a lock. And then it also can't be disassembled, because you can just click batch and then you like select everything of a certain type. But yeah, now we got more breaths, which is also one reason why you should prioritize XP in these hunts, because you're gonna get breath and materials from the items you find during the hunts. So now every higher difficulty, you'll also unlock new relics. They're all showcased at the legendary rarity. Just well, not the highest, but the highest you can drop. So yeah, you can look what stuff you might find now, and you can see what stuff you unlocked. So this is really cool. This is important for the warrior. Now this lets us run towards the enemy and has more damage. So we really need that as soon as we can. I've never tried this. This sounds fun. These are some damage and making things into elemental slates. We'll maybe get to that. Probably not. I guess for damage scaling at the start, you just want to pick whatever deals damage. Like you don't want to, like it doesn't matter if you go, like if you do melee, you probably just get melee damage on. Oh, okay. Let me explain that in a bit. You just get melee damage on the tree at some point. Now we're getting generic damage, right? Because that's what I'm doing. But at some point here you get melee damage. So the element is like less important often. Just make sure stuff works together. We'll get to it. Ooh. Okay, I'm not going to buy that because sooner or later it's going to drop. So let's see. Can we do that? Yeah, for 500. Right, so every now and again I check at the tree to see if there's anything good I can do. That's not too expensive. So now we unlocked some spirit power from these nodes. We already have 20. So spirit power is like another avenue of scaling, albeit a somewhat limited one. Later on, you would definitely want to get that unless you have element avoidance somewhere else that prevents you from getting shocked, which makes it take more damage. It prevents you from getting chilled, which makes it slower. It prevents you from igniting, which is damage over time and super annoying. But right now, this is not important. You have some health and mana and regen here. I think usually I just go regen at the start. The potion isn't very good yet. We have no recovery. And yeah, not dying is always nice. All right, so now difficulty 3 is 3000 XP. So it's the best we can do. So let's do it. Yeah, you may have noticed I haven't gotten a second skill, mostly because I don't see the need to it. I guess the other one is like a projectile thingy. So maybe that would have been good to not walk around. Yeah, that would have probably been better. But yeah, it's also not the biggest deal to not have that, I guess. Well, maybe I'll get it afterwards because I don't have trample yet. And I think it's only 100 breath. Like I don't want to spend 1000 breath on a skill I barely use. But 100 to have some utility, yeah, that sounds okay. So let's do that. Yeah, oh, this also has more damage per power. And it costs more mana. Okay, deal. So what does this do? It does this. Okay, so this hits for 1300. This hits for... Wait, why is he... What is the dummy taking damage from? Oh yeah, from my skull, huh? Okay, so despite this having 2 enhancements and this only 1, this deals more damage. And fires slower? Yeah, fires at half the speed. Yeah, here if you want to, like, you see release gap on the right side, the right front. You see release gap, like skill power, mana cost, release gap, release time, cooling time, actual release frequency. So actual release frequency is basically the attack speed or the skill speed. So I can use the skill 1.2 times a second. It does all the calculation for you. This I can use 2 times a second. So I guess even though it's weaker, it's more DPS. But I can just do this and shoot from a distance and not have to worry too much. If I so desire. So that can be good too. Anyway, I mean, I suggest just play around with your skills, see what you enjoy. Oh, but also this costs a lot more mana, and I couldn't even use it now because I had no mana. So maybe I should get 1 mana regen on the spirit tree instead. Yeah, because I'm seeing I'm running out of mana. And I don't want to turn my healing potion into a mana potion either. That seems like the wrong way to go about it. Because not dying is really good. So let's go back to the spirit power. Let's remove 1 regen here. Let's add 1 here. Hey, more skills. And you know what that means? More damage. Yay. I think I got a relic. I can't remember what. No. Oh, I got this. Okay, this is going to be useful at some point. Oh, okay. This is cool. So this is 25% more damage the closer I am. Okay, so I kind of want to add this, but my current relic selection is actually pretty good. So I'm thinking, where's the next relic? Here. So I need 5,000, 2,000, 1,000. I have that. So let's do that really quick. Okay, I need 5 white ones. So let's just disassemble. So you can click common, and then it throws all in there. I don't need any of those. None of these are equipped. So yeah, I'll just disassemble. Go back to the tree. We have 5 of those. We have another relic slot. We'll add this and we'll get some more damage. Oh, cool, better reward. So here I would never, ever take this, right? As you see, we already had them from just dismantling the items, which we'll do regularly. I think I'll take 9k over the 3k just because it's green, and we do need some of that to increase the slates here. So breath is not bad to get either if it's, yeah. I mean, generally just take the highest rarity thing of either breath or XP, and if both are the same rarity, get XP. Oh. Oh, as you can see, our mana is now also doing very well. Yeah. So this is very easy, right? So it's the first, it's basically the tutorial difficulty. You're supposed to figure out how to scale a bit, get familiar with the systems, and basically just use all the systems that you can, spend stuff. That's how you progress. Okay, so now I'd rather have 3,000 breath than the materials, so I'll do that because, as I said, materials you can always get later. How far does this go? Wow, all the way. This is cool. Okay, maybe I should have gotten that earlier. Oh. I was just saying, do these get more HP later on? I don't know. Yeah, maybe because they were next to me and the skull did 50, huh? Okay, so basically, as in a lot of games, best melee is just ranged. Yeah, oh god. Yeah, I'm very happy I have the range skill now on this giant ass rectangle. Oh yeah, that's so much better. Oh, this is a good one. I'll get to that in a bit after I kill this boss. Oh yeah, the other thing is you can use skills simultaneously. So you can hold down left click and then hold down right click, and you'll just use both of them. I see I'm running out of mana, but yeah. So this is, because they have no animation individually for each skill, you can just, I mean, no character animation. Like your character isn't stuck in an animation doing one skill and can't do another. So you can just use all your skills all the time at the same time, which is cool, which is actually really cool. I like that. Okay, so we'll get some more damage. Probably skill speed is actually better. It's another vector of scaling, so to speak, because right, you multiply your damage by how often you apply it. So getting a bit more damage on top of all the damage we already gotten is probably less good than getting to apply it all more often. Sorry about that, I just have to sneeze my nose a little bit. Alright, and so I've been meaning to, check out this. Maybe get this once more, because that proved to be fairly useful. So let's look at the cold we got. So cold says normal damage of supported skill 100% is converted to cold damage. Supported skills deal 16% more cold damage. So there's a difference between more and increased. So increased is additive with all other increased damage effect. So all that 12, 24 increased damage, it all adds up to like, at the moment, I guess we're at like maybe 120 increased damage, roughly around that. But more is always a separate multiplier, so you always get that much more. So this will turn all our damage into cold, and I also see this will, I mean, first of all, it's green, and green has more skill power, so we should use it anyway. Oh, yeah. And like the damage type in a way doesn't matter. This will deal lightning damage, this will deal cold damage. Yeah, it's not optimal, obviously, but it's still better than the alternative, because 16% more damage is a good multiplier for the whole hit, and this is just additional to the hit will deal even more damage. So if you hover over there, you see the first line is performance slash dealing 2,445 cold damage, right? Now it's cold, before it was normal. And further down, it says when the skill hits, drops the lightning strike that deals 1,400 damage. So the lightning strike is effectively another 50% more damage, just in terms of how much damage it does at this point in the game. Later on, it's comparatively weaker, but right now, it's actually pretty good. Oh, and we unlocked one more here. Infusion would give us energy regen. Yeah, you know what? I'll just use that. Not use that, and then have more health regen so I don't die. Yeah, so I guess, right, so now we hit once with the thing. Oh yeah, now we can just hold down the button, pretty much, both buttons, because the infusion will give us 25% of our total mana as regen. It's only active 4 seconds with a 6-second cooldown, but it's gonna be enough to do that. Oh, also you can just click on these things, you don't have to walk to them. It doesn't work on a portal, unfortunately. And yeah, cool, another boss down, very fast. So now we're gonna unlock crit, armor break. Maybe one note about resistance reduction. I've been told by veterans in chat who tested this that you cannot destroy, like you cannot go into negative resistances. I mean, well, you also probably not, but you cannot push the enemy to negative resistances. So if there's 0 resistances, all your resistance reductions don't do anything. In other games, you can make enemies go negative and increase your damage that way. You cannot do so here, as far as I know. However, all the bosses and the elites, right? The bosses have 30%. Later on, they'll probably have more, yeah. So generally they have 50% and the elites have 30% on every difficulty. That's not like the first 2 or 3 ones. So it's still very valuable, but there's a limit to how good they can be, which is cool. So one more thing, we got our little guy. So now we have auto setting here, and we can tell our little guy to just pick up everything, which I'll do. And then I'll just check. And we can make it dismantle everything. So the question is, do we want to do that now? The answer is I don't think so, no. We're not having enough stuff that it's worth just dismantling everything. Although, that being said, I mean, just hit everything in there. Do you need anything? Yeah, maybe this we could use. A rare badge. Yeah, maybe this we could use. On the epic badge, well, this will not use. Okay, so we can just, yeah. So I would regularly try to disassemble stuff just to make sure you're not leaving resources on the table. Oh, cool. We got a, yeah, nice, a big, what are they called? Void Breath guy. So that's cool. Okay, I guess I'm now mostly using the ranged. You see this guy had a crown, so that's like an enhanced enemy. That means they have like one of those buffs mentioned before, I think. I'm not actually sure how it works on normal enemies. On elites, they definitely get a buff, and one of the things you can check at the training dummy, I've never checked them on normal enemies, because, well, they just die anyway really fast. Okay, here I kind of want to keep my distance a little bit, so he will do this AoE damage every time with, oh, never mind. We're too powerful, it doesn't matter. Okay. Alright, so the only thing I care about is this. Let me just really quickly check the tree. Is there easy gains, relic slot? We don't have a relic at the moment that we would want. Okay, so another thing we can start doing is getting these talent points on the side. So we get more talent points. Well, there. This is very nice. I mean, eventually you want the tree full, right? There's no hurry. As I said, most power early on you can just get from slates, like these extra thingies we put in our skills, and we get it from XP by just getting all the upgrades on the tree. Like you can check the cultivation tree, like the spirit tree or whatever it's called, every now and then, because there's going to be stuff that is super cheap comparatively to where you're at, and you can just get that for basically free at that point, and that's nice extra power. But yeah, remember, right, like if you unlock relic slots, you don't have a relic, what's the point? If you unlock other stuff, yeah, I guess it's mainly the relics that are pointless to unlock unless you actually do have a relic. So it's not the 12. It's not the biggest of deals to get these. So 50k is the next one. Okay, so you can have two of the same. So first of all, this is 10 skill power, which is great. Coincidentally, it also has damage, melee damage, and normal damage, which is also great because all of these apply. Yeah, so lucky us. I do wonder, would it have been better at this point to just accept our ranged fate and just do the other skill? I actually don't know. It could be. And maybe just get a bit more slates there. I think the next one was 10k, so maybe I should just do that since I have the... What are they called? Damn, I keep forgetting what they're called. Whatever these things are. Abyssal, Sense, Press... Void Breath, I think. Void Breath, that's it, yeah. Just to increase the damage. But yeah, look at that. Oh, 2 hits, and it's already dead. Very good, very good. All right, so now we maxed out damage and everything. We go to whatever our main tree is, quote unquote, so like whatever you want, and you max there. Usually now I would go some defenses, maybe some regen here. All resist is not needed quite yet, I think. And then later on, once you have hit 15, you can get one of these like core talents, which are like bigger boosts. Okay, none of these give us good rewards, so whatever. Yeah, so the core talents, so how it works, right? So you have 15, every 15, well, at 15 and at 30, you'll get a core talent. These are very build defining. You can always change them, of course, like everything here. You're not locked into anything. So feel free to play around with it. But the interesting thing for later on for your build, what you have to decide is how do you spend your talent points? Often, I'm not sure always, but often, you definitely want 30-30. So you get 4 of those core skills. So you maximize core skills. Maybe there are builds who can do something like 15-15, 15-15. Or maybe there are builds where you do 30 on your main, and then you have 15-15 and get 2 of those core skills instead. You'll have to experiment with that. But the point is, you definitely don't want ever to be 60 points in your main skill and only get those. That's, I think, a big mistake. So keep that in mind. But, I mean, there's very rarely 60 points to spend in just your main skill. So I expect that's not a thing that will happen that often. Oh, haste. Okay, so that's interesting. So I've not talked about this, but we get Fury, which is explained quite at the rightmost thing. It's almost out of the window. 2% more damage per Fury with a maximum of 10. So 20% more damage once it's all up. And haste is like a 3-stack thing that gives us more skill speed and more movement speed. You can see these buffs in the top right corner as well. As you can see, we're also burning. So the top, sorry, did I say top right? I meant top left. Also, I'm dying. Yep, okay. So the all damage route has at last shown its weakness. Or at the very least, I should just upgrade my potion to actually heal better. Yeah, the problem is like, so I think when you're near this thing, it will just burn you a bit. And I also didn't really do the mechanics. I didn't dodge stuff because I got cocky. It's like, I'm powerful enough that I don't have to deal with this boss. Well, I was wrong. But it's not a big deal. We can just go back. Death doesn't really do anything here. You don't lose anything. Like we didn't even need to refarm the chance to attempt the boss. We can just go back in. Later on, you're gonna spend cents to go into the boss. You'll never need to refarm them. You can just attempt the same boss over and over and over again. Ooh. We unlocked a couple new relics. Yeah, the orbs, electric orb I think can be fine, especially early on, because it gives, well, it can help us shock. We have a thunder thing, so that would actually work. And then they have a chance to be critically struck, which is cool. So Frost Orb can be nice because it chills, which slows down enemies and weaks. Explosive Orb, I heard there's some cool shit you can do with it. I've never done anything cool with it. Ooh, alright, this is important. So now we unlock the automatic slate. Automatic, at some point, allows us to completely automate our skills. So we just slot this into our skills and then we just get to use, which is great. And what that means is later on we can just set our skills to farm automatic. Like you'll just want to have times where you just go into a hunting ground. Fuck it, you know what? We'll get to it when we'll get to it. Yeah. Also release on being hit. So like when you get hit, you do the skill, or when you hit, you do the skill. It's pretty cool. Can allow for some cool stuff. None of which we're using right now, by the way, but it's great to have available. And I'll probably explain it in the next video when it becomes actually relevant. Magma. Oh, that is a good one, I think. So I'm going to actually slot that in here. So Magma is another one like Thunder, where it just adds some damage on top based on skill power. Don't get baited by the 1600%. That sounds like really big. As you can see, when you hover over it, it's just the same damage. Almost, well, it's a bit more, but just a bit more than our slash damage, right? So it's scale like the way we, I mean, you can scale it so it's like the same, and having one of those in your final setup is often good. Having multiple is often no longer good. But I mean, the way you figure it out is you slot it in and you read the tooltip and you look at the number. And like if I'm scared, like if I, for instance, convert everything to lightning, I would use one or two of those lightning strikes in my final setup, because then they're also getting scaled with everything else on the skill, and it's good. But if I'm not using lightning, I would just probably not use it, because even though it has a big base damage, if you don't actually scale the damage afterwards, it doesn't really matter. Oh. Yeah, I should probably check if we got some new stuff we can use at some point, but probably not. Oh yeah, by the way, so you see these 3 magma balls when I shoot with that thing? That's the magma we just added. Oh yeah, so I think the trick was to just make the flask also heal immediately. That way we can get out of the situations where we just slowly die and can't recover fast enough. And yeah, that's probably gonna be enough. Oh, cool. So now we can add that. Oh, XP, very good. I think I remember the next slate upgrade was at 50k. Yeah. I'll have to check. I still haven't gotten the slate that allows me to run towards enemies. So it's been unlocked since White Skull 2. But I don't think I've seen it dropped yet. It's very good. It's the one that has like a flag in it. What you do is you put it on a melee skill, and then you click the skill and you rush towards the enemy and hit him, which is exactly what I want on my main skill. And also you deal more damage. So even in, it's not pure utility, it's also actually damage. So yeah. And then once we have that, maybe we can automate a bit at some point and just let the game farm. But that's not going to be in the video, or it's going to be explained in the next video, I guess. Yeah, our damage is still really good. You definitely want your damage to be around that. You don't want to fight elites forever. It's not fun. And it makes you take longer to progress. So now that we actually have a bunch of points, I'm looking here. Because if we get to one of these, it usually means it's a lot more damage. So instead of just stacking more and more of these, I could just say, hey, I'll get some defenses, I'll get some other melee, and by the way, the further down the stuff, the better, right? So here it's 4 all res, here it's only 2. 16 melee, 12. And then this leads to 24, this leads to 24, but 5% chance to deal double, etc. So you always need some allocated here to even get to unlock at the bottom, as you can see, but the more you can put on at the bottom, the better. And now I'm gonna put on this, so we have more life, which is good, so we don't die. And we have percentage life regen from the spirit tree, which is even better. And melee attacks at 20% of maximum life to base normal damage. So now, yeah, so it's 5/8 with this, and it's 4/4. Okay, so this is a significant upgrade. So that's why it's worth to probably swap out that. And we have now 90 life regen, which is more than enough. And we're getting more XP, of course. What else? Oh, 50k. Okay, next thing. Next thing we gotta do is upgrade our skill. Again, to get another slate and see what else we can put in there. I really want charge. I really want charge, come on. Oh, and probably now, because we're at a higher enough difficulty, we probably want to figure out armor break as well. So that the elites resistances, and then later on the main bosses, well, all the other bosses resistances go down a bit and they'll take more damage. But we'll get to that when we'll get to that. I hope this has been helpful so far. I know there's no timestamps or anything because I'm not a creator and it's just too much effort, and I'll just do this for fun, and I hope it's helpful. But yeah, sorry about that. I guess there's probably ways you can yeah, let's get damage. We're covered now. We have enough regen, we don't need this. I'll just go skill speed, I think. I don't feel like I need more life with this node, so I'll just go whatever damage I can until I unlock this, and then we'll figure out what we'll do here. More XP. Oh yeah, let's not forget. So, yeah, the smart thing to do would probably be unlocking the... what was I going to say? Oh, unlocking the more of the range skill, because we don't have to rush yet, but... Okay, so we have the cold, convert everything to cold, but now we have a lightning that's green, so it's better. And we already used the 2 lightnings, so I'm gonna exchange those. And then, like, I want to put in a green thing. And this is probably still better than a white thing that's not doing much. But no, actually, this is probably better. At this stage in the game, this is probably still better. Wait. Wait, can only one of them trigger at once? Did I misread that usually? Okay, so that's what we have a training dummy for, right? So you can just do that. Boom, boom. Okay, so we're at like 15k. If I don't have this, and instead I'll just do that. We're at 40, no, we're still at 50k. Okay, wait, so do they not stack? Shit, okay, learned something new. I thought these stacked, actually. I thought these stacked. I guess I was wrong. Because I could swear, maybe that was in the old version, and maybe that wasn't intended. Huh, okay. So, okay, don't do what I do. Don't put in 2 lightning strikes, they don't add up. Well, I guess, okay, so I guess let's do that, and there's no oh, there's fast. Okay, fast is damage slate. Alright, works for me. And now 54. Yeah, okay, that's good. 54. That is more damage than 52. Cool. Okay, well, sorry about that. I was fairly sure that used to work differently in the... I mean, this is the beta branch, so there might have been some fixes. Or I might have just never noticed it. But again, I could swear when hovering over the tooltip, it would show 1 for each lightning. But I guess that's not how it works. So hey, good to know. I learned something new. So I guess it's the same with magma, that only 1 magma per skill. Maybe, but isn't that where I thought? Because with magma, I'm pretty sure it's very obvious when they stack, because it's like 6 balls instead of 3. Ah, well, okay. Anyway, I have to test it, but clearly it didn't work. So whatever I'm thinking about now, fact is it doesn't work. So don't do it. Don't do the bad thing that doesn't work. Alright, sorry about that. More skill speed. Alright, second to last boss for this difficulty. Let's see how fast we kill that guy. Do we do mechanics? No, we just stand here. We have okay, so the regen alone is gonna save me because we have so much health from our warrior passive, warrior core talent thing. Oh. So you can really just be lazy and just stand there. Oh, okay, so now the problem is, while we do have infusion, there's a downtime of 2 seconds, and if in these 2 seconds we go below we go below like the mana needed to cast the expensive skills, we don't get the infusion back. How ironic. Okay, I really want this. Melee attack count is really good. It means we hit 1 more time. I think this already hits twice. No, it doesn't. Okay, so yeah. Okay, cool. And now we can kill the actual final boss, version 1. And yeah, the game's not over yet. Far from it. But content-wise, you've mostly seen most enemies to some extent. The thing is with the bosses, they get new movesets now. So next time you fight the same boss, their moves will be slightly different and slightly more powerful, until they're eventually a lot more powerful, and there's like variance to it. So it's not like yes, in a way you're doing the same thing over and over again, but also you're still having a different experience a little bit. You have to learn new move patterns and bosses, unless you're completely OP and you don't have to deal with the boss at all, which you're probably not going to be on the first playthrough because you're just going to experiment with stuff, which is cool. That's what ARPGs are for, right? Yeah, so, I mean, my point is don't be discouraged. Like, yeah, I'm saying we've seen all the enemies, and that's true to some extent, but it doesn't mean the experience stays the same. Also, we dealt so much damage to the elites. We never really had to fight them. Later on, that might change a little bit. Suddenly, you have to be aware of elite move patterns. You have to be more aware of boss move patterns until, of course, you outgrind them again, and so forth. The usual fun ARPG loop of being at the spot where you have to honestly fight them and learn the mechanics, getting over that spot and just deleting them, then getting to that spot again when they get more powerful, etc., etc. It's a lot of fun. I really like this game. It's a very, very well done ARPG, and one of the reasons is actually the thing that stuff that unlocks after this boss, because this game does something exceptionally well, and that is, in my opinion, what I would call parallel scaling of character power. Like, you don't just grind the same thing over and over again, like the talent tree, the XP. There's a hard cap of level 50, and with the spirit points, you get exactly to 60 points and never more. So you actually have a very, there's limits, which means there's actual decisions, which means it's actual interesting. But also that means more character power will not come from the same system, but from another new system that acts parallel to it. And then you have like a different thing with different limits that you have to figure out. And all of those combine to your character. And that's, I think, what makes this game so great. Even though, of course, graphically, it's an indie game, very indie. I think it only has one developer, and he's doing an amazing job, in my opinion. But, yeah. Yeah, but it's just so much fun to try different builds, come up with different things, understand how all the systems work, getting better at it. I think the first time I beat the game, I was like 22 hours. And then I learned a bit more about how to play it, and then next time I started fresh, which you don't need, by the way. You can have all your character variants on the same slot, and you don't need to grind from the start again just to start a new character, which is also really cool. I just enjoy starting again when I do a new character. But fuck, I'm so easily distracted when I'm gaming. I'm sorry, I forgot where I was. Yeah, anyway, it's just really fun. Oh yeah, I got, so it took me 22 hours, and then next time it took me like 15 hours, and then next time it took me like 11 hours, just because I started to understand the systems more, and how to get character power, and how to use the resources, and when to use them for what better, and like just not be stingy with hoarding materials, because I know from experience, well, I'll get more later on. I know I get a lot more later on, and that means I'm a lot more comfortable just spending it now, because I know I can improve now to get to the later on part faster. All right, so we've beaten White Skull 3, so we did one cycle. The next cycle is going to be different. I'm making a new video. This is cool stuff we unlocked. And we'll get to that later. Yes, and the new guy arrived. All right, thanks for watching. This video's been already too long. I hope it's been helpful. And see you guys in the Green Skull video, I guess, maybe. All right, take care.